Well, three of Mexico's border cities have been rocked by riots. Hundreds of protesters taking to the streets there, demanding that the Mexican army leave town. The army? What about the drug cartels? More than 6,000 people were killed in drug violence there last year alone. So why do these protesters want to kick out the people who are trying to enforce the law? Bill's at the billboard with more on this one. Hi, Bill.
Hey, Meg, good morning again to you. We've come up here a couple flights of stairs to show you this giant border that we share now with Mexico. Here's California, Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas as the map goes in motion here. We'll squeeze this down here and show you some of the towns just across the border from Texas where all these protests have taken place. These are just the ones we've highlighted on the map, whether it's Juarez or Reynosa, Monterrey, or Nuevo Laredo. As you see the borderline here between Texas and Mexico, and you mentioned this protest. We just saw some of that video. These pictures are stunning. This is the police in concert with the army. That's designed to put down the protests, but the protests have been going on for quite some time without any abating. Now, a state senator from Texas, name is Dan Patrick. Sir, good morning to you. How are you? Listen, can you explain to me, as we look at another photo here too, boy, this is very violent stuff in many cases here. Why in the world would the people protest the army that was sent to protect them, sir?
Well, we believe, Bill, that it's the drug cartels who paid the people to protest. And we're going to break some news here for you, Bill. I don't think this has been reported anywhere, but Texas went on alert for the first time, to my knowledge, in modern history. We saw what was happening on these bridges Tuesday, and it was disconcerting. And so we have a series of alerts, and our Homeland Security Director, who I have a lot of confidence in, Steve McCraw, and the Governor Perry, acted very decisively. And we have an emergency center here in Austin. And I don't want to go through all the details of what happened, but we're concerned, Bill, about violence spilling across the bridge on a regular basis into Texas. We're concerned about transnational gangs. And we're going to be sure that if the federal government doesn't protect the border, Texas will protect our border.
Well, you're making a bit of a headline here. What does it mean? What does this emergency order mean, Senator?
Well, what it means, Bill, is that we have a multi-point plan, depending on the stage of violence or activity on the other side of the border, that we're not going to wait for President Obama or the federal government to protect Texas. And a combination of Border Patrol, which we work very well with, our DPS department, our sheriffs, our game wardens, our National Guard, we are not going to be faced with hundreds of thousands of people coming into our state, either in any type of mass migration because of violence in Mexico, a civil war. And Bill, what people in America have to understand, if it's not civil war, Mexico is on the verge of civil war on the western coastal areas and along our border. This happened Tuesday, Bill, on the bridges coming into Texas. Yesterday, the drug cartel used bazookas to take on police in Reynosa, which is a big manufacturing town south of McAllen, one of my favorite cities in Texas. And there were 8 people killed yesterday in Reynosa, including the police operations director and his bodyguard.
You're
Bill.
saying there were bazookas used. And
yes.
I just want to show a little more video to our viewers at home. This is, well, you saw the first part of that bridge that you described. That's essentially the border crossing, correct?
Yeah, the border crossings, at Nuevo Laredo, in Juarez, and Reynosa and McAllen. And what I believe and others in Texas believe is going to happen, we're going to see a rapid escalation of violence in Mexico. You're going to see roadside bombs. You're going to see in Mexico, especially along the border, what we saw in Colombia. Because Felipe Calderon, the president, different from Vicente Fox, Bill. Vicente Fox was a government that did nothing. Calderon has launched a massive attack on the drug cartels. He has 45,000 soldiers along primarily the border, but across the country.
He's been fighting that war for a couple of years, but what we haven't seen are people going out in the streets and protesting their presence.
And we believe that's because...
I mentioned some of this video because... I'm sorry, sir. 1 second.
I'm sorry.
I just want to share a little more video with our viewers here through the screen we have. We're able to really take our viewers deep inside the story and show you what's happening along this border area now. And I'll just squeeze this back a little bit here. And again, just show our viewers the area in question here. And you're making some major news here, Senator, and I want to appreciate your time today. Let's hope it doesn't come to that. I mean, you're throwing out some pretty cautious language there about hundreds of thousands of people streaming over the border. Let's hope it doesn't come to that, but we're going to stay on it, okay? That's right.
And we'll be ready in Texas if the federal government is not. Thanks, Bill.
I am out of time, but I appreciate yours, Senator. Thank you very much. Okay. Megan, back downstairs.